right. Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Twisted Fates. We are the Party Poopers. I am Terry Mayo. I'll be your dungeon master on this journey. With Twisted Fates, we're taking two D&D 5e starter sets, Dragons of Stormwreck Isle and Lost Mines of Phandelver, and we're combining them for one epic campaign. We're on session 5 now of this campaign, and things are starting to take form. I think we're all starting to get our bearings on this island. And our adventurers are having affirmative actions. I don't know what did we call it when Altos was in the cave? Transformative. That's what it was.
Yeah. About to say affirmative action is
a little different. So. It's a little different, but
sore subject.
But speaking of our adventurers, our campaign would be nothing without these three Nerd Night News beefcake models. They're below me. Playing the part of our dragonborn cleric, we have Altos Belhazar. His favorite color is blue, and he loves to curl up with a nice book. We have Mr. Freddie Packard. What's up,
Hello,
Freddie?
hello.
How you doing?
What's going on, everybody? I'm excited to play some D&D. It's been a whole week.
Got to get those D's together. Playing the human druid, Ulfgrim, Stormreaver. He is #never dry, and he is fluid in the pirate tongue. Mr. Eric Hampton. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up, Terry?
What's up, man? No yar for me today? No R.
Yar.
Yar. All right.
Yeah. Get a chipper one. I'm fully recovered from all sicknesses and ready to role play.
Ready to role play. All right. Roll out. Playing our murder bot, our auto gnome rogue. Y4T2C. He is quick on the draw and has Etch-a-Sketch nipples. We have Mr. Barney Greer. What's up,
hey,
Barney?
Terry.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. My nipples are hard.
Nice. That's a weird thing to say. So, with that in mind, if you would like to order or pre-order a copy of our Beefcake calendar featuring all these young, strapping men, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, just like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Altos, are you ready to get started with our adventure?
Born ready.
Born ready. Look at you. An inspiration. All right. Well, then, without further ado, let us get started with something that we are calling Twisted Fates. God, I love our intro.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
It wouldn't be the intro unless we also said how much we love it after.
I know, right? That's part of the intro, is the post intro. So
Man.
it's part of it. Okay. Well, let's jump in this session 5 then. You are approaching the boundaries of Dragon's Rest Cloister. From your position, you have a full view of the ocean on one side and the bay on the other of the northern section of Stormwreck Isle. You're traveling along the same hidden path that Turok took you down earlier this morning when you were looking for Rydoth and to help the Makonids. Although it seems like it's been weeks, it's only been a little less than about 14 hours since you left Dragon's Rest. Night has fallen across the island and all is relatively quiet, as many of the inhabitants of Dragon's Rest are now asleep. The path you're on will have you arriving between the mess hall and the winch house. You're carrying an unconscious human, a plethora of mushrooms, edible mushrooms, and a bag of loot. What would you guys like to do?
Who's
Are we also carrying
the guy?
Yeah, do we still have him for interrogation purposes?
Yeah, you're still carrying the unconscious human guy.
Altos left him with you, right? Ulfgrim got stuck carrying him.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm doing the fireman's carry.
Nice.
The sailor man carry.
Sailor.
But yeah, I say we mosey down this trail. It's a little dark. We just saw a dragon. Continuing back to Dragon's Rest.
All right. Y4 will turn on his high beams.
Say, Alfgrim, do you need some help? You've been carrying that guy for a minute. I didn't mean to stick you with him.
Oh, now that we're about 20 minutes out from Dragon's Reach, now that you want to pitch in and start. No, thank you. I'll continue the last leg of the journey, so you don't get any of the credit. Glare.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was just a little payback for calling me a lizard.
I mean, I kind of shrug, holding my tongue. Lizard me.
Let me go ahead and share the map on where you guys are at, basically. So, well, you can't really see, so let me switch to this side. Your blue dots are there between the mess hall and the winch house. Standing outside the winch house, you are seeing Varnoth, just kind of overlooking things, being stoic as usual. But that is kind of what you're seeing. There's not a whole lot of light coming from Dragon's Rest. It's just more of a natural glow.
And the time right now, DM, is like 8, 9.
You're looking at roughly about 10 to 11 would be more accurate.
Gotcha. Late. Okay.
What are we gonna do with this guy before we hole up the back in the hovel?
I didn't think that far. Alfgrim?
I'm like, finally arriving out of breath after walking up, the hill to get to this.
What
thing
took you so long?
And then I'm gonna toss him just like a sack of potatoes. And I just kind of have my hands on my knees for a bit and just be like, "Oh yes, I am. Just give me a second to catch me breath."
Is your back okay?
It's fine. Yeah, I've been carrying this part.
Sure, because I know how to.
Carrying this guy.
If you want to put your arms like this, I can get behind you and crack it for you if you'd like.
Oh, don't worry about that. Keep your arms to yourself. I'm gonna tighten up his lashings, and I guess we just put him next to us while we sleep, and just make sure that he's all secured.
Okay.
It's not like we have any doors anywhere. Unless we want to keep him in the library. I don't think they'd like that, though.
I don't think they like that.
Should we possibly maybe alternate and take turns watching him through the night, or maybe we can ask one of the kobolds to keep an eye on him?
Perhaps. I want to have some words with Runara. It seems like she's been keeping some things from us, though.
Do you think she's awake at this hour?
Let's find out.
You guys, I'll keep first watch on this, and then you guys go on ahead if you're gonna conversate.
So as you guys are stepping into the Dragon's Rest itself, some of the things you've noticed, if you're walking back towards the hovels, or even if you're just stepping back onto the path itself, whenever you start stepping onto the path, all of you start to get that familiar kind of vibration that you're starting to get used to when you're entering spots that at this point you can assume that there's been a dragon that has died nearby, or there's that sort of kind of magical arcana kind of feel to it. You are noticing over in the winch house, most of the belongings that you saw on the wagon, the write-offs belongings, are kind of piled up in the winch house. And if you were to look, you could see some of them are on the platform itself and look like they're going to be lowered down at some point, if not soon. As you guys are stepping into Dragon's Rest, do me a favor and each one of you roll a d6.
D6, huh?
Mm-hmm.
One of these old things.
Five.
Wow, 5s all around?
Everybody got 5?
Wow.
Well, high five.
Look at that. All right, so
Weird.
each one of you, as you start feeling that familiar kind of vibration, the something that you felt when you're in Torador's cave, or when you first got to Dragon's Rest, and what's kind of entering your mind now, the last time you felt it really, since Torador's, was at Seagrove Cave, as you were in that pool of water and kind of feeling that feeling. You're each feeling a little bit hazy, a little bit foggy in the head at this point. And until you take a long rest, each one of you are going to have to roll disadvantage on any kind of skill checks that you're doing.
Guys, I'm real beat up from that murder fest that we had going on with them goblins. Real beat up about it. Well, mostly just kind of, I got winged a couple of times, and one might say I'm in need of a little rest. So if you guys need to go on ahead, I only need a shorter rest to recharge.
I think off camera it might make sense if we go back and just maybe just catch her for an hour in the morning, unless I mean those are her belongings that look like they're getting lowered. Is she out in a haste, do you think?
Were those Runara's belongings, or were those Rydoth's?
Those are write-offs belongings that were in the wagon.
Write-offs, got it.
The
Yeah,
druid
maybe we just maybe we just take a rest tonight. I am feeling pretty beat as well.
Perhaps. I do want to ask some questions of her. I'm mighty curious.
Well, maybe we can game plan on those questions, because I do have. I mean, do we want to mention? Why don't we get back to our hovel and have this conversation, and maybe somewhat of privacy, considering we don't have a door, but some privacy.
All right, well, I'm going to stop off and get some grub then, and then we can go to bed.
Mind grabbing me a plate?
No, you want me to grab you a plate? Why don't I bring the guy all the way up here, too? Oh, wait, I
that
already
would be
did.
great, Olfin. Please.
Well, you got two hands, don't you?
I'm going to just grumble off.
Okay. Okay, so Ulfgrim, you're heading over to the mess hall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Y4 and Altos, where are you guys headed?
Hovel.
Hovel. Both of you hovel. Okay, all right. All right, so let me go ahead and we're going to move over to the mess hall area. All right. Ulfgrim, what you're seeing inside the mess hall, it looks like they had a pretty good feast. Tarak is the only one that's in there right now. Cleaning up, kind of getting ready for the next meal that he's going to be cooking. But right now he is the only one that is in there.
And Trock was previously injured?
Rydoth was injured.
Oh, Rydoth was. Okay. That's
Yeah,
right.
and Tarak was needing the mushrooms to make more healing potions.
Hey, Tarak! Long time no see. How's the day been treating you?
It's been a hell of a day just getting old Rydoth back up here and getting all of his belongings ready to set sail.
No doubt. Well, something that I believe will lift your spirits. I'm gonna reach into my bag and pull out 5 pounds of mushrooms.
Okay. All right. So Tarak is just watching as you're like halfway inside of your bag of holding and kind of a nose of a canoe sticking out and random smells coming out and until all 5 pounds of the mushrooms are at his feet. Thank you very much, mate. This will do quite well. I'm sure I can make enough to send you boys on your way with a few as well.
We definitely wouldn't refuse that. As I wouldn't refuse a bit of grub. Can you serve me up a hearty helping and then a slightly less hearty helping for me to take back to my friend?
Of course. And your mechanical fiend, the Y4, does he eat? What does he eat?
I think he eats rocks. I'm not really sure.
Okay, well, there's rocks out there. I'm sure he can
Yeah,
gather if he wants. So.
I'm sure he's having a heyday.
Tarak is preparing your meals, and he's gathering up the mushrooms and putting them on the table.
Say, by the way, where would Runara happen to be? I don't know if I've seen her residence around here.
Aye, well, if you can find her residence, you're a better man than any of us. Runara spends most of her time up at the outdoor temple. If she's not there, then who knows where she's at. Mila says she has a cave somewhere, but even I don't think Mila even knows where that's at.
Huh. I don't mean to knock her, because she looks rather good for her age, but she's quite old, isn't she?
She is, and you're right, she is quite a looker, but she's been here the longest of all of us. Varnath was here before me, and I know Rydoth has known her for quite a while, but yeah, I couldn't say how long she's been here, honestly.
Could you estimate at least the length that she's been here?
10 plus years.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind. But all right. Well, appreciate the food. I might as well be getting back. It's had quite a long day. I've got this arrow wound here that I need to sleep off. So,
Sanitsa and the Maconids, are they quite all right?
Oh yeah, we cleared out the beast that was making them all go screwy in there, and Sinensa's having a bath and having a great time in there. We caught up. He's got an interesting childhood, full of
He
trauma.
does.
Interesting
Aye,
story.
aye. Lots of trauma on this island. Lots of
Ah,
trauma.
yeah. It shapes you, makes you an interesting character, I'd say.
It does. It's transformative.
Ah, yes, as one might say. Well, off I go.
Okay. All right. Well, Tarak is smiling ear to ear. He's kind of doing his thing. He's happy to have his mushrooms, and you're hoping he'll be able to have them ready by the time you guys wake up. What would you like to do, Eric?
All right, well,
Or
I guess I'll
Ulfgrim.
just. Well, actually, on my way back, I'm going to do a quick peek in the temple, see if I can see Runara.
Okay.
Not even just
All right.
approach her, just see if she's there. You know.
You never know. You don't know these things. Y4 and Altos, are you guys just planning on hitting the sack for the night, or what are y'all doing?
One of us, well, I don't know which one, but one of us is probably going to want to watch our prisoner while the other one sleeps, I would imagine.
Okay. All right.
And I'm waiting for my food.
I feel like there's not a hurry on that order.
He doesn't know that. He thinks I'm rushing for him.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Altos, right away.
Well, whoever is doing
Coming right up.
watch, whoever's doing,
So I'll take first watch.
you are noticing the human is kind of stirring a little bit, but he is as you found him. He's got his
Knock
red
him
cloak
back up.
on, kind of a mask on. Out, you go out. Mask covering most of his face, a red sash, bleeding out, but the bleeding looks like it has kind of stopped and stilled.
Just dies in the
Hoping,
morning.
yeah, hoping that he's gonna last throughout the morning. Okay, all right. So, Ulfgrim, as you leave, if you were to do just a quick look behind, you can still see Varnoth, and as happy as Tarak was, Varnoth is like a polar opposite, just stone face and kind of looking out at the ocean.
And wait, Varnoth is the winch person, the winch operator.
There you go, winch operator. Yeah, she's standing here. Yeah, and she's the winch operator.
Hmm. Well, I guess I do a quick check in the temple. Is there anybody in there?
As you make your way there, you do an investigation at disadvantage for me.
No, I'm looking for a real die. Silly me. I investigate. I got an 18.
Okay. Did you do disadvantage?
Oh no. 12.
Okay. All right. You're not seeing Runara anywhere. You're not seeing anybody in there. With your 12, you are noticing that there's more footprints than you saw last time. Last time you guys were in this temple, it looked like it had been swept cleanly. There was groove marks next to the statue, but it was really well kept. Besides, like the candles and the grooves next to this one, it looks like there has been some movement and it hasn't been cleaned away yet. But you're not seeing Runara anywhere.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll turn around, walk back with my food, and I guess I'm gonna pass. What's her face?
Varnoth.
Varnoth. I'm gonna ask her why. Say, Varnoth, how be your night?
It's been a stressful night. How about you?
Can't say myself. Been quite easy. Tell me more about your night.
I thought I caught sight of a boat that was sailing in from the Sword Coast, but then I lost track of it. Could have been just old eyes playing tricks on me, but my eyes haven't done me wrong up to this point.
Well, there definitely are Kragmaw goblins that had launched a landing party and started assaulting various people here on the island, so very well could be their ship.
Here on Stormwreck, Kragmaw.
Aye.
So the stories that Blep tells, they're actually true.
Little bleps. From the mouth of babes, as they say. Truth he speaks.
I feel as though I should probably investigate this at some point. Where were these goblins?
Well, I would help you investigate, but I'm getting disadvantage on my rolls.
That's just life.
I am tired. There was a camp not too long along the trail to get here from the ruins to the southeast.
Okay.
But I've gotta get the rest of this food to my partner, so I shall take leave.
All right, but good night.
All right, I go back to the hovel.
Okay. All right. What would you guys like to do in your hovel? What kind of shenanigans do you want to do in your hovel?
Do I see Alfgrim walk in?
If you're doing,
so sneaky.
you want to roll for investigation and see, or perception?
Oh, you finally brought me my food, Alfgrim. I'll just go up and grab the plate.
I'm just gonna grumble and give it to him. Oh, thank you would be nice. Whatever.
What was the food that he made?
It's all vegetarian based, so you got a couple of leeks in there, some potatoes,
Porridge.
beans, that kind of
Porridge and leeks.
Yeah.
Any
Bunch of
I'm just gonna kind of look at it and be like,
Got that.
and just kind of put the plate down and not touch any of the food.
Y4 dings and some toast pops out, but he's plugged into the hovel, so he's kind of unpowered, low power.
I will cast, because our guy is bleeding out a little bit here. I'm going to cast Healing Word on him just to give him enough where like his wounds are healed.
Okay.
So that'll be 5 health.
5. Okay.
Let's keep him alive. Say, Alfgrim, tomorrow. Y4 is catching some Z's right now. Tomorrow, when we talk to Runara, should we bring the prisoner?
It certainly backs up our point that there are enemies on this island. Perhaps she can find some use in interrogating him beyond what we were able to do to the goblin.
How do we say to her, hey, we know that y'all are keeping a secret without putting her on the spot where she, freaks out?
Like she freaks out that she lied to us?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just do it in private. Maybe we do it in private, not around the rest of the kobolds.
Gather all the kobolds around and accuse. No, let's.
Let's
do a town meeting and then accuse her in front of everybody of lying to us. No, we just talk to her.
Because I was gonna say I'm not the strongest at
You
negotiations.
Deal with the books, I'll deal with the people. How about that? Huh?
All right, that's fair. And another thing,
books,
do you know?
Ask her about the book we found.
I would like some time in the library. I do want to take a look at is it Aber? Look for Aber, I think it's called.
Where?
Right, well, it seems like we have a good, healthy list of things that we can either talk about or do tomorrow. I've eaten my vegetarian delicious meal.
You want my plate? I'm definitely not eating this.
No, I'm quite full. I had a hearty meal.
You get full on
I'll go off
lettuce.
to bed.
All right. I'll just stay watch until somebody wakes up for their shift.
Okay. All right.
He only needs like 4 hours, right? Why 4?
I can. We can, even if we're doing watches, it's fine to split it up. He only needs 6 though.
All right. So throughout the night, outside of you're in the same room that you were in, right across from the statue, and here and there, as you're like going into your sleep, you are hearing like the telltale sounds so that you've gotten used to, a blep out there messing with the statue and playing with the wooden sword that he has and the turtleback shield. His little footprints running back and forth throughout the thing. surrounded around you are the other kobolds as they rest. You are hearing chanting coming from further down in another hovel. It sounds human. It doesn't sound like one of the kobolds. But that's kind of what's lulling you to sleep as you all turn in for the night and get y'all's rest. Nothing of substance happens. It's a really peaceful sleep, similar to the first night that you were on Dragon's Rest. There's a sense of comfort and a sense of protection in being in Dragon's Rest. And as you wake up, or when you wake up, your hit points, everything will be recovered, and you will no longer be at disadvantage.
Whew. I would say that during Y4's rest, anytime the guy woke up, you would just knock him back out. So he's got like tons of those lumps just stacked on his head.
Okay. All right. What would you guys like to do? It's morning time.
Is the guy awake?
Oh, I just knocked him out again. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm sorry, guys.
Just a hammer. And he like puts it behind his back.
Just standing over.
I don't know. I say get up. I'm gonna stare at the sea for a little bit, come back in and say, well, should we head over to Runara, get some answers?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm feeling mighty rejuvenated. All systems are go.
Okay.
Onward and upward.
All right. As you guys start to make your way out, I'm guessing you're taking the human. You're just throwing him over your shoulder and whatnot, and kind of walking out as if it's all.
I can drag him if you guys don't want to carry him.
With your wheel up the stairs.
Do you still have your sock on, Y4? Or did you take?
No,
that
I
off?
took that off. I was thinking about that earlier.
Mayonnaise sock.
Y4 has thoughts about the sock.
All right, it was a comfortable night then. As you guys are exiting, you do see Blep, and he sees you, and with his wooden sword, he's just like, on guard! And then he just kind of laughs and keeps playing with the statue and whatnot. Who here has had like a conversation with Blep? Y4?
Y4 for sure.
All right, do me a favor and go ahead and roll for perception of like that general area where Blep is.
Oh, Blep. I crit.
Okay, all right.
You kill him.
Y4 pushes him off the ledge.
Sorry, Blep.
Bye,
Murder.
He is a kobold. What you're noticing in that general area, first you notice Blep, and then however your feelings for Blep are
Is he hanging out around the statue still?
He is. He's still hanging around the statue. So with Blep, it's the same old same. His wooden shield has got a few more like dents and dings in it, or wooden sword. Than last time. Is almost he's been just using it nonstop since you guys have been gone. The statue itself, what you recall with your role, is it looks like the posture of the statue looks a little different than what you saw it as last time. The birds look like they could have moved as well. You don't know if your main frame is playing tricks on you or if this is an actuality, but that's what you're noticing.
Hey guys, I don't know if this is the trick of the optics, but does that statue look a little different? As we're walking past, those birds look, I mean, before they were canaries, right? Now they're just flamingos.
Yeah,
I think it's the same bird, but they might be in different arrangements.
Slightly look different. How might a statue change its shape?
Unless it's not a statue. Hiya!
Did you just karate chop the statue?
If I had a hand, it probably hurt.
Can I do not cast? Can I investigate the statue? Take a quicker look, see if like what the material is, or if it's actually maybe what I would do an Arcana check and check if it's magical in any way.
Sure. Yeah, you can. Y4, as you hit it, it just feels like stone hit your hand.
Clang.
And
All right,
then
I'm going to do
you wanna roll
Arcana,
for-
and I got an 18.
All right. You're noticing that it is extremely polished marble. It looks like it is cleaned quite often and oiled quite often.
Sorry, that was Arcana.
Oh, sorry, Arcana. Yes, you are noticing that there seems to be a glow you're starting to feel of.
The afterglow.
Yeah, a little bit of maybe some abjuration magic is what's going on there, is what you're starting to feel.
Wait, what type of magic?
Abjuration.
Yes, and we know my high Arcana skill and lets me know what that is.
I wouldn't say at this point you grasp the full understanding of how that applies to this statue.
Okay.
Just that it is giving off a magical
It'll-
arc.
Can I investigate the ground around the statue?
Also, just like in your books, they got those fun pictures of people finding stuff behind walls and false doors. And maybe this statue, if you want to take a look around its base.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Okay. All right.
I like my way of getting there.
Yeah. Are you just looking for like? Are you doing your architecture? Are you doing an investigation? What would you like to do?
And his archaeology.
This. Yeah, I mean, this would probably be more of an investigation just to see if,
Okay.
like, I just kind of want to see if like the statue moves and like if there's like a trapdoor underneath. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Got it. All right. You're gonna be like, boo.
Exactly. Yeah, yep, that was great. 5. So, assuming I don't see shit.
All right. So what you guys see is again the cockiness you're starting to realize did not come from the bath with Sinensa. It's just a natural born thing. And as Altos is feeling around, he's got this look in his eye, and he's like, yeah, and feeling around, and then you do see him just go boo to the statue and nothing. Although you're not seeing any kind of levers or anything like that that would be a telltale sign of movement or anything.
I have one last idea. Can anyone reach the birds?
Reach them?
Yeah, like touch them. Can you get up there? How big is this statue?
The statue itself is about 10 to 15 feet from bottom to top, give or take.
Well, could one of you like hold me up? Maybe I could just give it a little rap, see if it moves, see if it's hollow, something like that.
I can.
Well,
I'll lift you
the
up.
entire shape of the statue had changed, right? Like the positioning of the guy slightly.
It's a slight, it's coming off as like a slight change in posture.
All right, Y4 is asking to be lifted up. I'm gonna say, well, I think that there might be something more than a secret button or a trap door about this statue. I think it might be magic itself, but here we go. It's me. The sound.
What? So as Ulfgrim's lifting him up, while he's lifting him up, I am going to do identify. As he's in the air, I'm going to cast identify.
Okay.
How do you cast it? What kind of archaeological tools do you use to cast this spell?
So I am using my arcane focus, which
we
I'm
all know
holding in my
Slightly
pocket.
magnifying glass.
Exactly. But yeah, you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting the spell. So I'm going to put my hand on the statue as you're up there fiddling with the with the stuff. If it is magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, how many charges it has, yada 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 yada.
Okay. All right. No roll on this or anything like that? I know it's a touch and instantaneous, but nothing like that, right?
Yeah, it's just instantaneous.
Okay. All right. So as you're lifting Y4 up, Y4, with your sensors on your hand, are you able to feel temperature and all that kind of stuff?
Sure. Yeah, I can
sure.
measure heat.
Why not? Okay. All right. What you are noticing initially, Altos and Y4, and anybody who's touching the statue, is that even though it does feel like marble, it is more... it's warmer than you would expect it to be. It's not so hot outside that the stone would be heating up to the point where it does feel like it's a balmy 97.6 or so as you touch the statue itself. As you're doing your identify spell, wife, where you're touching, and that is what you're touching the bird. And again, it feels hard. It feels like marble. It feels like stone, but it is warm to the touch. You're not feeling any leverage or anything like that.
Huh. This bird is reaching a temperature of 97 degrees.
I'm going to mark that down. Altos, as your spell starts to form and get to completion, you too are sensing that there is arcana involved. It is an abjuration spell. What you feel like is similar to, even though you didn't do an identify on the obelisk, you recognize the same kind of senses that were coming from the obelisk as far as what kind of magic you're dealing with.
It says I would learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are, and if the item was created by a spell, you'd learn which spell created it.
So it'd be abjuration.
Abjuration.
Yeah, it'd be that's the class of it. You can tell that it is active right now. So there's an active spell going on with it right now. As far as charges, this you're getting that it's active right now. Yeah, and I'm going to say that's what you got so far.
Move me to the other bird.
I'm going to raise him up again. Bring him to the other bird. There we go. Oh, God.
Yeah, everywhere you're touching on this statue and on the birds is all about the same, as Y4 is gently petting the marble birds.
All right, that's enough, Y4. I love that we talked 2 words to Blep, and then we're like, "Oh, the statue!"
Out of the way.
Just watching
I'm gonna lower Y4 down and say, I believe Runara has even more answers. We've got more questions for Runara. Hopefully, she has answers.
Yeah, let's go see how she's doing with this lad.
Okay. All right. You do see that there's more kobolds out. The mess hall is full of kobolds as you walk along the path. Doors to the library still closed. You can assume that Mila's in there because you haven't seen her. As you make your way up to the temple, again, you're not seeing Runara. You can, since you've already been investigating so much this statue, see that the posture of this one matches exactly as the one that was down there. And if you remember, it does seem to be different than when you last saw it as well.
Something screwy going on here.
Ask around where Runara might be.
Believe we may. I checked when I came and did a brief check for Runara here last night. She wasn't here either, but we did notice that I did notice myself on my own, notice that there were footprints that had been going around here. And I guess take a look at the footprints, maybe do some investigations, see where they might lead or what they look like.
Okay. All right. You do see that.
Ooh, 20.
All right.
24.
24.
Totally
Look at that.
I know the shit out of these.
You can tell that you see leftover remnants of a human, smaller human, footprints here and there, but it has been cleaned. You see some cobalt footprints and telltale signs of like a broom, that kind of stuff. With your investigation, you again can confirm that the statue does look like it's been altered a little bit. On the edge of the cliff, let me just go show it. On the edge of the cliff, towards, I would say this area generally. What you're noticing is a back and forth pacing of the human footprints, but you're not seeing the footprints leaving back down that trail that you came in through. So you're not seeing The footprints of the small human footprints are here, but you don't see any leading back down this trail.
So, what are you seeing, Alfgrim?
Well, it looks like a small human, perhaps Runara sized, just throwing names out there, trekked to this area here, I'm pointing, and then paced back and forth, and then ne'er returned to the path for whence she came.
Ooh.
Well, does anybody know where the hell Runara is? Where's everybody else?
Yeah,
Where's all the kobolds?
maybe Radar.
Well, the kobolds
Maybe
were
Radar
fast.
knows something. Or
Yeah.
one of the kobolds.
Lyra?
Yeah.
Wait, who'd you say why for?
Radar.
Rideoth, yes. Perhaps we should ask him. We need some answers from somebody.
Yeah. Is the cook even here? Where's Turok at? Is he still in?
Probably in the mess hall.
Okay. So you confirmed he's still here. That's good.
Yes,
That's
yes.
good.
The two humans who were here previously, Turok and
Varnoth.
Varnoth. Yep.
Far enough.
The winch lady. She's here as well.
Okay. That accounts for at least 2, and we know Blep's here, so that's 3.
And there were kobolds in the mess hall that we walked past.
Yeah, but I don't know their names.
Why would you?
All them kobolds, they look alike.
Pretty much everyone except for Blep. He's got that red feather.
Yeah, true. And he's also much smaller than the rest. All right, well, let's go look for Ridoth, I guess. Let's maybe hop by the mess hall, see if he's there.
Okay. All right.
Continue our...
All right.
I thought I saw his stuff before we head into the mess hall. I thought I saw his stuff outside of what was it, DM?
Well,
the winch house.
winch area.
Out of the winch house before we crashed.
I said we just start looking for him.
Okay.
All right.
I'm tired of
When
talking
they-
about looking for people. I want to look for people.
Me
when
too.
they exit the room, can I investigate the wall to see if there's any like trapdoors or like a stone to push in that opens anything while they're exiting, and then I'll catch up with them.
You're really trying to
quick.
Indiana Jones
Of
this,
course,
aren't you?
of course, yeah. So what you're seeing, Altos, as they're having the conversation about who's in town, who's not, that kind of stuff. The outline of where I'm pointing to, all these pillars, these are just straight up pillars that go to nothing. There is no ceiling in this room. It's an outdoor temple. The walls are just these right here. But yeah,
Okay.
go ahead and do. What are you rolling for? You want to do investigation?
What do you want me to roll for?
You can. We can do investigation if you like.
Oh, lovely, an 8.
Since you're an archaeologist, why don't you do it with advantage? Since you're very focused right now.
An 8.
All right, look at you.
Nice
Not a
spoken.
very good one.
So, with extreme focus, about halfway through looking, you are getting this sense of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking for, and you just kind of do a quick look over at the rest of the group and keep doing, just following the motions, and then, like, yep, nope, nothing there. And you don't.
All right, I'll go catch up with the party.
All right. I won't make you go through every single room, but just as a general, as you're passing by rooms, you do a quick head count, and you're noticing that everybody that was there before is there now, except for Runara, and there's an additional resident right this minute, and that is Ridoth, and he's in one of the hollows.
All right. Well, I say we go towards Ridoth. Skip breakfast. Intermittent
Yeah.
fasting anyway.
Working on your fitness, you got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As you walk in, you just see the old man there, and he's kind of just knitting a pair of mittens, kind of mumbling to himself as he sees you walk in. He's like, oh, greetings, my friends. I trust you're doing well. Tarok brought me a healing potion in the middle of the night, and I'm feeling much, much better now.
Oh, that's good to hear, Radoth. I see your shoulder wound is now completely filled with dirt, so that means it's healing.
Oh, fit as a fiddle, as they say.
Well, we were looking for Runara. Do you happen to know where she might have been?
Runara, if she's not here at Dragon's Rest, then she must be on one of her sabbaticals that she goes on. She's an open woman as far as telling the truth, but she, like most humans, she does have her side that she keeps to herself, locked in a little locket in her heart. And where she goes when she's not in Dragon's Rest is one of those secrets that she keeps to herself.
Rydoth, I feel like I can talk straight with you, druid to druid, of a sort. I don't think that Runara speaks the truth, as you say. Why, she seemed like she managed to leave out a lot of aspects, which is as good as lying in my own eyes.
Well, I guess even though we are druid to druid, I would say that sometimes truth comes when you're ready. Not when you want it, but when you need it. And if she hasn't been truthful with you so far, then she must have felt you didn't need that information yet.
Well, perhaps you can answer some of the questions that we had for Runara then. Hold, please.
Let me look at my notes.
Yes. Well, actually, the first one that we can ask is,
who's this guy? Yeah, do you know who this guy is? And I pull back the hood on the.
Oh, I thought you were carrying a sack of potatoes, or the lumps coming through the robe. I just assumed.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, why for? I can't say that I know this fellow, and he kind of reaches over and pulls down the mask that's covering him, and what y'all see when he pulls it down, because y'all haven't done that yet, is that just a human, full beard, tattoos up the sides of his neck. He's still kind of groggy. Will open his eyes, but then is quick to close them back.
I got the hammer ready.
You got the hammer ready. It looks like this young man has been worked over quite ferociously. Was this your doing?
No, I slowly put the hammer behind my back.
It was in defense. He was a part of a raiding party of. He's with several, I think, of what we identified as Kragmaw goblins, and perhaps aligns himself with King Groll and Clark. And Sist Sparkrender are names that I had jotted down.
And a Gladstaff.
Gladstaff.
Yeah, right off. It seems we are slowly, and if not completely on purpose, discovering some kind of plot.
Greater conspiracy, one might say.
You have been quite busy in the short time you've been away, but and you saw that when you were listing off this list of names, when you said Sparkrender, he just kind of stopped knitting, and just started listening intently. But Sparkrender, you say?
Yes, I believe that he's got some experiments going on of nefarious purposes.
Sparkrender, you say? Tell me a bit more about that. Where did you hear this name?
Twas in a note to these nefarious scoundrels. I kick him.
And he kind of just he reaches up and he's like, the note, please, the note.
Yes, and I'm gonna dig in my bag of holding. So no, not this one. That's a canoe, and then hand him the note.
Okay. Every time you open this bag of holding, just this waft of like moss and funky weed
Smells like home.
Smells like home. You were very used to it, Ulfgrim. Everyone else is kind of like, whoa. Rydoth grabs the note. You see him examine it, and he kind of crumples it up. So you're saying that there are goblins here, this human, and okay, and Sparkrender. Where did you say you ran into Sparkrender? Or this human?
The human we ran into just off the path. So slightly to the south.
All right. I would warn you against traveling again outside of Dragon's Rest. When Runara returns, I think it would be the safest course to remain here. Sparkrender is a blue wormling dragon.
Oh.
He was banished from Dragon's Rest a while back. Has it been a year? He was under the tutelage of Runara, and then there was a disagreement, a falling out, and Sparkrender left. I wasn't aware that he was even on the island still.
Real quick, you said it was a blue dragon?
Blue wormling, a young one, yes.
A wormling. And then I'm going to rustle around another canoe. Smell pops out. Then I'm going to take out a picture that I picked off of one of the dead people and say, does this perhaps depict what might be the Sparkrender?
It doesn't have the telltale signs of a chromatic dragon. That looks more like a metallic dragon. I would say maybe brass or bronze, perhaps.
Did we all saw the same dragon flying over us? Did you see a dragon venture this way?
No, not at all.
I've actually seen two dragons in a very rather short period of time, or at least we saw one and then we heard another. Do you know anything about what's going on at the south tip of the island where there's 3 towers?
And
a graveyard.
Got it. That's an old observatory. It was man-made by Coulter Dragon quite many years ago. They were worshippers of the dragons. There were 5 dragons that found their death here on Stormwreck, and of those 5, there was an observation tower built in their honor. But it's been destroyed for quite a while.
Would those 5 dragons perhaps be maybe a red, green, white, bronze, and brass?
Cryovane. Well, it'd be Cryovane and Venom Fang. There's 2 of them.
Yes, you've been doing your homework. That's the colors. And there was, there was Cryovane and Venom Fang and Sharuth, of course, and Astalagon and Torador. And I believe that's all 5 of them.
Sharuth, Torador, Venom Fang, and Cryovane, and what was the 5th?
Astalagon. He was a bronze dragon, mighty dragon.
Yeah, interesting. Was there a platinum dragon?
Oh no, the only platinum dragon I have ever seen, or I haven't even seen, but that I've seen written down word of, is the mighty Bahamut.
That's the one, Altos, you were talking about. Bahamut and Tiamat.
Bahamut.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I was telling you about, how they're not too fond of each other, and then also, Torador was, let's just say, and I pull out the stone and I look at it, and I just kind of nonchalantly try to say that was who I was speaking with, but not say it. Yeah, Torador. But
hold up the stone and do that.
Yeah.
Shake it in its face.
Interesting. Say, do we have a prison or a jail here? Anything with bars? Everything has no doors. So I was wondering if we could maybe store our prisoner here somewhere.
This is a peaceful cloister. No. I mean, no. There is no prison. There's nothing like that on this island. This is a peaceful island, and, well, I don't mean to be rude, but until you arrived, there's been no need for violence.
Well, it seems like other people have arrived that have brought their own brand of violence, and honestly, we didn't kill this guy, so that's points in Peace's favor for us.
And he must have been by himself.
Can't say much for his friends.
Just like
Now you bring a good point forward, Ulfgrim, and that is, if there are goblins here, if there are other humans here, and they're not of invitation, that would certainly speak as to why Runara is not here now. She could be deep in prayer if she's not here on Dragon's Rest.
I'm sure that'll do a lot of good. Well, it turns out that those goblins have been actually even trying to awake Sharuth, so I believe that we might be... Oh, before we get going, I do have a question about these statues. Can you tell us a little bit more about them? Because it seems as though they're not just statues.
Yes, well, what would you like to know? I mean, the statues here, they represent the founder of Dragon's Rest, Shagram. What else would you like to know?
Why are they magical?
Why are they magical?
What do they hide? What are you hiding from us?
I am a visitor of Dragon's Rest, just as you. I find my home on the island itself. If you're talking of, I guess, the movement of the statue is what I have seen before, if that's what you're speaking of. I've visited quite a few times, and I've noticed that it seems that from time to time the birds have moved, or the Shagram himself has moved. But I've never seen it actually happen with my own eyes.
All right.
Do you know any strong abjuration spells by chance?
Oh, abjuration. Are you a practicer of abjuration?
He's going to say no, and then turns out that he actually is quite an expert.
Around the 2-hour mark of this episode, he'll be like, "Yes, I'm actually quite adept." I mean, I can.
All my life. The name is actually abjuration.
From
Yes, I actually there is a couple spells of abjuration that I have been using that I've come across.
Okay, all right. I'm not quite adept at abjuration, but I can say that the ones that I have been more familiar with have been of the type that is of portal or planar magic, that type of thing. But that's more my wheelhouse.
And how would you sense if there is a portal? How would you know?
Well, what I do is do quite a bit of detect magic on it, and I think real hard on it as I'm attuning to things, and quite a bit of practice as well. But I've been using magic for well on 70, 80 years, and how many years of practice have you had with magic, Outsource?
However long I've been here.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so I would say with time, it is something that comes with time. I don't get the sense that these statues are portals, if that's what you're asking. But they definitely do give off a sense of warmth, a sense of something. But I've never gone past the statues where I don't feel like the spell is in effect.
Fair.
All right. Well, unless you boys have any other questions for the druid, I believe we might be getting on our way.
Are you planning to go back onto the island?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Good. I mean, if you were, I was going to give you something, but...
Oh, well, actually...
Liar, pants on fire.
Now that you mention it, we might just adventure back on. It's a lot of time to be sitting here while we're waiting for stuff to happen.
Then one druid to another. I will let me give you this, and of course you can share it amongst your friends. It's a fun tool to use, so why keep it to yourself is what I like to say. And he kind of is rummaging through his belongings, and his bag is not a bag of holding, but it smells almost twice as bad as yours. As just like moths are flying out, and just you can almost see the waves of funk. And he pulls out two things. He pulls out a bag, and a whistle, It says these may come in handy, they may not. In the bag they're a bit stale, so I wouldn't eat them. But Patty, she enjoys these. These are blueberry muffins, and the whistle. If you blow it loud enough, and she's within range, she will come running. And again, she may come in handy in a pinch, and she may not if she doesn't hear the whistle. But I give them to you. I don't plan on returning to Stormwreck, so they will do you more good than me.
Where are you off to? And thank you.
You're welcome. I'm heading back to the Sword Coast. There's much to do there, and since you are now here, I feel as though my duty here is over. I don't feel as though you know it yet, but your actions on Stormwreck are going to outlive even you.
In the hearts of our viewers.
In the hearts of our viewers. Okay.
That was cryptic, and I will think on it as we venture throughout the island.
You're a creepy old fuck.
All right. Well, I don't know. Do you guys have anything else for him?
Oh, White Forest hanging back just a little bit.
Had a little too much of a heart to heart last time.
No, hanging back with Radoth.
Gotcha.
Just like, yeah, you just had a quick question before he headed out the door.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go out, and my intent is to ask Blep about how he went there. So I'll just turn around and leave.
While he's heading to I'd like to go to the library, and I want to get the book on. I want to grab a book on Bahamut, one book on Tiamat, if I can find them, and then also on Aber.
You don't even have a library card.
So, Radoth.
Yes.
You're leaving soon.
Yes, wife. I am. I came here to be a protector, and through, I will say, I won't take complete ownership of it because the world is full of fates. But I guided you to join this island, and you have made it. So I feel my part of this adventure is over. So I will return to the Sword Coast and do my protecting there.
That's not really that fair. I mean, none of us asked to be guided here. This is you kind of dipped your hands in the pie, and they came out sticky, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Well, that's the best kind of fate, isn't it? Those that are unexpected, those that others have a hand in.
I guess I'm just getting a little mixed up here. Where are you going on the Sword Coast? You said you had some business there. Are you going to be heading by the swamp?
One of my first stop was going to be to the town of Phandelver, and I have a sister there who lives in a windmill with her husband, and we'll stop and visit, then see if the fates lead me.
Will I be able to find you again?
Oh, of course, yes.
Because I have a lot of questions about what you said, and I still need time. On this, but I just wanted. Do you got like a mail-in address or a PO box?
Understandable. I regularly keep contact with the Lord's Alliance through my own work. I'm sure if you were to send them a message, then they would relay it to me. But if you do end up on the Sword Coast, Phandelver is where I intend to be, at least for the immediate future. But I do not plan to leave Dragon's Rest until Runara has finished her part of this mission to find something to dispel that wretched Wave Echo cave wall.
And okay. So contact the Lord's Alliance.
Yes.
Then my last question before I catch up with the rest of the folk. I see you skilled with your hands there, knitting. Would you be able to make me a new sock? Altos keeps putting mayonnaise in this one.
Oh, well, you know those humans. You need to double check and make sure that it's actually mayonnaise. It may actually be something quite different. But yes, I can definitely knit you some booties or socks if you like to help you along your voyage, and I'll have them prepared for you. Do you have a specific color in mind?
Blue.
Blue. Oh, there's a theme. There's a theme, and I love it. All right. A bit of advice for you, just in case we don't have this conversation in depth again. If you are going to go to the Sword Coast and search for me in towns such as Phandelver, I would highly recommend you employ the ability of disguise. We had this conversation before, Y4. Folks on the Sword Coast, they may not be ready for you. So I would recommend maybe covering yourself.
Noted.
All right. And he kind of pats you as he would like a pet. And,
Okay. I'm out of here.
all right. Socks, blue socks it is.
Thank you. Thank you for your hospitality.
All right.
Vroom to catch up to Altos in the library with the extra book that he has from Ulfgrim.
Ulfgrim, were you making a pit stop or were you...
Yeah, I just wanted to stop by Blep. Say, hey, Blep, you look like you're been practicing your sword work. You're looking quite, you're looking quite ferocious out here.
I've been putting in a lot of work. I mean, once I had my hands on the real thing, it put a bit of adventure into my soul. And
no doubt, it sounds like something that I'd like to inhabit my soul as well. How can I see this famous blade myself?
Well, and he kind of looks around to make sure there's no other kobolds around.
I'll lean in closer and be like, it's okay.
So he's kind of whispering he feels like this secret that he's just dying to tell someone. So when I snuck onto the shipwreck at the northern point of the island, I snuck past these hordes of dead, and when I got onto the ship, there was a lot of wonders. There was a fine painting of these humans wearing these red clothes, and the woman holding like this amulet, and there was a treasure chest, and I was trying to open it, and I found this sword laying within the comforts of a bed nearby. It looked like it was like a royal cabin, or maybe a captain's cabin, I don't know. So I was using the sword to bang on the chest. And as I was doing that, I could hear noises. And I thought that it was the dead from the island that had followed me on board the ship. So I turned and I ran and I hid. And when I hid, these beasts that looked like skeletons were in the room looking for me. And I was able to make my way out of the room. I used the sword to block the door. And I ran off the boat. And that's where I saw it, but I felt much stronger when I was using the sword, so I figured I would craft one out of wood. It doesn't make me feel the same way, but practice. Well, maybe one day I'll go back and get it.
I'm sure with practice you'll be able to wield that sword yourself, perhaps someday. Well, thanks. And how did you make it to the island? I believe that it's a little on its own. How did you find your way over there?
Well, it's gone now, but I had a little boat at the bottom of Dragon's Rest on the beach there, and I just sailed to it. I know that those are much taller than I. The waters are maybe waist to chest deep on someone your stature, but I would be well underneath if I tried. So, I mean, you could travel by land, you could travel by boat if I had a boat to give you.
Well, who knows what happened to that boat? Anyway, I'll say, well, thank you, Blep. I treasure the information you gave me, and I believe that we'll be headed out that way. So we'll see what we can find there as well. Thanks for letting me know, and I'm gonna head up to the library.
All right. As you're walking away, you see Blep, and almost as like a light bulb is going off. He's like, oh, if you're going to go back and you need another adventurer, let me know and I'll take you with. I'll take you.
We will consider that, young lad. I'm gonna pat him on the head, be like, get back to attacking that statue.
look at
I think
you.
I saw it move.
Yeah. All right. Altos. At this point, you've already made it back to the library, and Mila's inside. At this point, she has another kind of helper in there, but you can see that the scattering and everything that was in disarray last time you were in there looks a lot more tidy, looks a lot more neat. And you're actually seeing the other Cobalt, Rix, is putting some of these books back on the shelf.
Find what you were looking for.
Startled, she turns around. It's like, yes, it seems as though Miss Runara did find a direction to follow. Yes.
That's good. That's good. Speaking of, where is Runara?
If she's not at the temple, then she must be at rest in her own abode.
And do you know where that is? Been looking for her all morning.
No, it's. I would say off limits, if that's a term you're familiar with.
Very familiar. Did I know you and I were going to have a talk about some of this? What any information you can give me about what's going on with Wave Echo or whatever that was about?
Yes. So she's kind of skittish a little bit. You can tell that she's a little apprehensive, and you don't know if it's because Runara is not there or what the barrier is. But if you would like to roll for persuasion, then maybe that might help.
Been rolling terribly all day, so here we go. Ooh, 17.
17. Okay. So you do get that initial pushback a little bit. Wave Echo, yes. So Runara, she stumbled across a book that one of her proteges was studying at one point about a flame cloak that belonged to Brastos Arad. And the writings that were in this book said that it had been cataloged as a magical cloak, and the wearer, if they are magically attuned, it enhances their ability to cast dispel magic. So her thinking is that if we can use that might be our best hope to unlock Wave Echo Cave.
Okay. Does a Clarg ring any bells to you?
No, I do not know a Clark.
The reason why I asked that is Alfgrim or Y4 in with us right now?
Y4 was on his way, so just let me know.
Okay. There would have been enough time for you to catch up, Y4, so if you'd like to be there, you can be.
Y4 rolls in.
What was that? Y4, thank you so much for joining us. What was that letter? What did it say about the cloak? Do you remember?
Flame cloak.
Yeah. Can you repeat what? Did you write it down?
Y4 recites it from memory.
Okay.
So
Yeah. What you hear Y4 say is the one from King Grawl, or from Clark. It says, "Find the fire cloak. King Grawl wants the human and dragonborn dead. He wants the metal thing as a trophy."
So, seems somebody's on this island looking for that cloak. Does that ring a bell to you or make a difference, I guess, in what's going on here?
It, of course, makes a difference. It makes a difference in the haste that we would need to find it. Brastos Arad was one of the first, I guess you could say, guests of Dragon's Rest. When we started, when Runara started inviting people over, it was
the dead man.
Yes, he did die. He's buried in what used to be our graveyard, but we've abandoned that site for quite a while. But Brastos, he arrived at Dragon's Rest 4 decades or so ago.
Was that the tombstone we saw at the southern tip?
Y4 nods. What was it? I didn't mean to interrupt or anything. What, he was the flame holder of the flame cloak?
Yes, it was. It was his. It was his. He brought it from the Sword Coast with him as he traveled here.
He brought it here.
Yes.
Okay.
He was the last known person to have it. He was actually buried with it.
This thing is starting to sound more and more important. Like he maybe took it away from someone else. Altos. Where's Ulfgrim? He's good at these things.
I'm not the best at doing this. I'm better at digging in books. Conversing.
Why don't y'all do a history check with advantage since y'all both are starting, the wheels are starting to turn and whatnot. So somebody roll a history with advantage.
That'll be a 21 or a 24.
Let's go with his.
All right, let's do 24. Okay. As you guys are doing this banter back and forth, and the synapses are starting to fire, what you do remember, just through things you've heard, Brastos Arad, he was the gentleman that was in the grave. You did not see a fire cloak in that grave with him, but it does look like somebody was searching in that grave for something. You remember Altos reading a book early on the first time you stopped at the library that mentioned the last known person that had that perished on this island as well. And you also remember when you were looking at the gravestone, I think it was Ulfgrim that realized that Brastos Arad was a name that was familiar on the Sword Coast as a noble name, and possibly had a connection to Helmshold. And that's kind of what you're remembering right now.
Did the book that I picked up, did that have anything to do with any of that, or is that something else? I'm going to rummage through my chest real quick.
Are you taking it out right now? It's the one you found in Dragon's Cave, the Torador Cave?
The one that Ulfgrim, or I don't know who found it. I ended up with it.
Yeah, okay. Are you taking that out?
If it could help, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so as Y4's kind of digging around and you're doing that mental gymnastics, the book catches Mila's eye, and she kind of jets towards you, Y4. Where did you find this?
I hold it above her so she can't get it. Altos, help! I'm being attacked! Murder mode! It's engaging!
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Short sword activated. Explain that to Runara. I don't want to take it. I just want to look at it. This is the book of the Primordials.
The what?
Come again.
Wait. Before you, hold on one sec. I wheel out of the library to search for Ulfgrim.
While he's wheeling out to search for Ulfgrim, I'm going to be like, the magical cloak, is it the cloak of Everember? Was that the name of the cloak?
Yes, that's one of the names that it was given.
And
you know? Yes, it is.
We don't need to get into the details. And there was it wasn't necessarily lost for that long. I know the Lord's Alliance sent a powerful, I think, sorcerer here about a year ago. Do you know the name of that sorcerer? They were talking about possibly bringing Stormwreck Isle into the protection of the Lord's Alliance.
Yes, I do remember. He was from the Lord's Alliance. He was quite a frightening gentleman. He didn't stay that long. What was his name?
Did he have a red cloak?
He did, but it was not this cloak. But he did have a red cloak. Iarno, I believe was his name. Iarno.
Yarno. And what? No one saw him again? He just disappeared, or?
He has not been invited back or returned. No.
Interesting.
Wheel back in with Ulfgrim, or
From what I remember, Iarno, and I want to say his last name was Iarno Albrecht. Rings a bell. He had, I won't say an argument with Runara, but there was tension, and this is back when Mr. Sparkrinder was under her tutelage as well. There was something said, and he left.
Sounds
Did
like
he
we
leave-
really miss Runara on a lot of these conversations.
Fair enough. Yarno Albrecht. Okay.
so as I was saying, Ulfgrim, she knows the book.
Oh, do you now? We can't make heads or tails of whatever language it's in.
Oh, it's well, I won't touch it, Y4, but if you can lower it down and just open it.
My arm retracts a little bit. Pop it open.
And you can see her eyes light up. We do not even have, we have a Rosetta Stone that can help translate it, but we don't have any books that are the exact language. This is primordial language. This is a language that is native to the world of a bear. If you
Where?
ever heard of where every time.
It just gets funnier every time.
Every single time. I wait for it now. This is a language that's native to the world of a bear. But there's not many books like this around. This specific book it tells the tale of the 5 dragons who created Stormwreck Island. And they created it. They created the life of this island through their death. And it is a bit of a yin and a yang, as there are chromatic and metallic dragons. And she's flipping through the page and kind of apprehensive as she's touching the first one, but as she sees she's not being murdered, then she keeps going. And she says, this one, the red, this is Sharuth. And he died at Seagrove Cave. Venom Fang is the green one. And he of course, he passed away at the observation towers. The white one, Cryovane, he passed away north of the island, almost in the ocean.
Purple Rock, perhaps?
No, it was on our island. Purple Rock is in the trackless sea. Astalagon, he passed away here on Dragon's Rest, at the site of our temple, actually. Torador, he passed away. There's actually a beautiful waterfall, and that's where his remains lie. This is a beautiful book. I would keep it safe. If I know that if you were to ever make it to Candlekeep, they would reward you kindly for it. Or you could leave it here for free.
Pass. So so Torador is the brass dragon, Cryovane is the white dragon, Venom Fang. Wait, Cryovane is white dragon?
Right. So you have Sharuth red, Venom Fang green, Cryovane white, Astalagon bronze,
Is the bronze.
and then Torador is the brass.
And
And
what color?
we saw the bronze dragon fly over us.
You saw a bronze dragon fly over you, yeah.
Oh yeah, A. Huh. Interesting.
As she gets to like the larger centerfold that lists the hobbies and whatnot, and folds it out, and you can see that she's kind of brushing and blowing off, and you can see there's a little bit more picture underneath dust. And she's
That's
like,
a lot
"Oh,
of dragon.
It is. This is a lot of dragon. This
That dragon goes all the way. Sorry.
Miss May. This is Bahamut, and you can see that she's outlining. You can see the platinum it's almost ethereal the way it shines off this page, and you can see that she's smiling. And as she's pushing dirt away, you see 7 gold dragons surrounding in the background behind Bahamut, and she's
His
just
posse.
his posse. This is his road dogs, as he likes to call them. Very impressive find. Very impressive.
Do you happen to have a book on Aber that say Runara's not here, and I know we're not supposed to take stuff out of the library, but is there something I might be able to borrow for a little bit? Perhaps we can
Sure.
trade.
Well, I Miss Runara, nothing would be able to leave this library. I know that she made you a promise that if you were to help her, she would let you take 1 book. I'm sure we have plenty of books here that mention Aber
Maybe even 2 bears or 3.
or 3.
Ooh, the Encyclopedia of Aber. I'll grab that.
All the general knowledge about questions. FAQ on Aber? Perfect.
Everything you wanted to know about Aber, but what they'd ask.
Aber for dummies. Sounds perfect. Perfect. Well, I'm going to turn to the boys and say, well, I do believe that we may be getting on to some adventure about now. How do you feel about that, or do you want to do some more talking?
I do have one question. You guys pray to Bahamut? Is that correct?
I don't know how you humans do.
Of course.
What's a prayer that maybe if I've never been one to pray much, but what's a prayer that you would say to Bahamut?
Hail Bahamut, full of grace.
Hallowed be thy name.
One nation.
Over the shoulder, over the chin.
Classic.
Well, that's almost asking someone how they breathe, right? It's you don't think about it, you just do it. You give thanks when you believe in something. You believe wholeheartedly, and it is one of those things that just comes naturally. I'm afraid I can't give you advice on how to pray to Bahamut, but when you do it, you'll know if it's effective or not. But if you're looking for specific words to say, that's not how prayer works.
It has to be from the heart, then.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
I'm ready,
speaking
boys.
of things that come naturally, we gotta go naturally. So we must be on our way.
Glad you're so happy to see this book. We're out.
Yeah, it's a good book, huh? Hold this, Y4.
Yeah. Glad you got to look at it for 5 minutes. We're out.
For special, we'll be taking it.
Okay. What would you guys like to be doing?
Is there any more rope around in this place? Can I just scrounge some up before we head out? That's really all I'm
Good
looking
idea.
for.
Sure. Yeah. So, there's some that they're sitting outside of the winch house
I
without
saw
getting
that they
in.
were using a rope and a bucket to lower Rydoth stuff. I'll just take that rope.
All of his stuff just
Yeah.
falls.
Oh, well, hope that wasn't important. Good thing he's an interdimensional mage. He can get it back.
There is plenty of rope if you didn't want to do that. There's plenty of rope. just sitting
I want
outside.
this one.
You want that one? Okay. All right.
Rydoth's just watching behind me. Oh,
You're sewing your socks.
I
I got
from
it.
attachments, right off. That's what you people believe, right?
Just say one of your prayers for it back.
You're able to get 50 to 100 feet of rope, whatever you would like.
I'll get 100 and cut it in half and give 50 to Ulfgrim.
Oh, now I have 2 sets of 50 feet of rope.
One
Oh,
that's
I
pink
thought.
and one that
Oh,
doesn't.
that's right.
Yeah, just keep 100 together.
All right.
Don't
Yeah.
when you're going to cut
thought-
it. Like, blah, 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 blah,
Okay.
I'm going to cut it into 10 sections of 10, and then I'm going to...
So the real question is, though, do we leave this guy tied up, or do we like untie him and then kick him off the side, or what do we do?
Have y'all been carrying him with you everywhere you go at this point?
Dragon.
Or is he back in the hovel? 'Cause I guess I
Yeah,
forgot to
I
ask.
think we just left him in the hovel after we.
Okay.
No,
Knocked
he's
him out
been
one
with
more
us.
Okay.
Can I?
He was,
can,
he was
I
with
can-
us. He was with us when we talked to
It's
right
not
off.
right off, but
Right
I
off.
figured we would
Yeah.
drop him off. But okay,
Off the
We've been carrying
cliff?
him with us.
You're not noticing move. I mean, you're noticing enough to know that he's still alive, but he is covered enough to. It's not drawing a whole lot of attention because he is pretty covered, and then unless someone's actually investigating you guys, it's just coming off like it's supplies.
That's
Okay.
good. Yes.
I'm gonna be having him on my back. I'm gonna say, well, like, all right.
What if we
well,
put him in? What if we put him in the bag of holding?
I
I'll
don't want him in there with the canoe. You don't know what he'll do with that sort of thing. We don't need him any longer. I say we just, we go to leave, and then I go, oh, my stuff, my sack of potatoes, and then.
And then I stab him.
That's on your conscience.
Dress him up like a
Oh,
kobold.
so
and
now
stab him.
Altos, you're getting a real crisis of conscience. Why don't you pray to your platinum dragon god about it? Ask for forgiveness or something.
I thought it was a pretty big lizard.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I say we start adventuring out, and then when I'm out of eyesight of the kobolds, I'll just take the rope off of them because we need
I
that.
get my knife ready.
just
All right. All right.
off you go.
Are you, all
Off
right,
the
all right.
ledge?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's just like cigarettes when you're done with them. It's not like
I was gonna stab that cigarette.
All right.
just kidding. Don't litter, except humans.
So this
Yeah.
poor human has never retained consciousness. He probably has some sort of traumatic brain injury at this point, and it's just you've been lumbering around this comatose person for the last couple hours, sleeping with it and everything. Totally worth it to bring him with you.
You never know.
We didn't even ask him anything.
And talk to the guy, and then he just kept hitting him repeatedly in his sleep.
I'm sorry we lost interest. We had other things going on.
We had
You're
right on
boring.
answer questions for him.
All right, well,
All right.
we'll find
alright,
his
well,
rest next to Dragon's Rest.
As you make it far enough away from Dragon's Rest, or at least out of eyesight, the decision was made to go ahead and dispatch this guy by
All
talking.
right, I'll be like, Altos, grab an arm and a leg. One.
I will have no part of this.
All right, White Fork, come over here.
All right.
One. 2.
2.
Oh!
No.
Okay. All right, and this gentleman, you see him roll down the hill until he kind of comes to a stop.
We did what? I think we missed Soph Grip. We didn't get him far enough. I think I gotta. Maybe I could hit him with my. Yeah, I'm gonna lose.
Are there any large rocks we can roll down?
I shoot an arrow
He
at
just
him.
been stuck. We just gotta dislodge him.
All right. All right.
What
Yeah.
about that canoe?
So as this body just rolls down a hill and kind of gets just wedged, you're getting
Shoot it.
flashbacks of like a weekend at Bernie's Dragon's Rest situation as Y4 just kind of steamrolls down there and just finishes him off with the
Oh, okay.
rock that
I
he
don't
finds
need
down
to
and,
shoot him.
yeah, just bashes this guy's head in. And this
Alright,
man is no more. You're out of
I
initiative.
will toss down a rope to.
I would pay an animator to animate that scene just so I can watch it.
It's a little shame that we didn't let him be down there, so we couldn't have the
Try.
like the Austin Powers. Hello, is anybody up there? I'm down here, but I'm severely injured.
I'll do just hearing things again.
Will
Don't worry
Ferrell, the
about
guest voice.
Yeah, he will have no
Anyway.
comeback. He won't be in the sequel.
I'm crying.
Okay. So where you guys are, you're roughly Dragon's Rest is there, of course. You were made it far enough out of sight, and the guy found his final resting place right about here.
Now it's that guy's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make magic out of you, sir. All right. What would you guys like to do from this point? You guys are giving this island a tank.
I'm gonna try to pray for the first time, just for that poor guy's soul.
Oh, you are helping Altos transform.
Technically not
So I'm just-
murder hobo, because he was not an innocent person.
he was
I
after
don't know if
us.
that's how murder works.
He had a letter that said,
Yeah, he was trying to kill
Bad
us.
things,
It was self-defense.
sticks and stones,
Okay.
sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So we'll just kill you anyway. So
All right. You guys are out of Dragon's Rest. What would you guys like to do?
Trading
away.
Are you going to be walking, rowing? How are you getting to where you want to get?
Well, I'm gonna relay what Blep had told me and say that essentially it's waist deep, but we can use this canoe. So what do you guys want to do?
I might need that.
Oh, true. All right. Well, do we have paddles?
Yeah. So everything that you would need in the rowboat is there. You have paddles that are
buoys?
kind of tied to it. Yeah. And you have 6 buoys. If you
Yeah,
would
boy.
like. Okay.
Just
All right. So as you're getting in there, it is a little bit treacherous water, and memory is serving you that when you arrived on the island, your guide Campola was kind of using a system of tying rope and buoy and kind of making a guided system to help fight against the current and get to where you wanted to get to. So if you wanted to employ that, you can, or you can fight against the waves. It's really up to you.
I'll get in the
so
little thing.
Ofcom, you're a seaman, right?
I'm a sailor.
Yes. Yeah, seaman. What would you say is the best course of action to get over to yonder?
So you, seaman. Yeah. Why don't we just hop in the canoe and we can paddle
Do
on
we-
over there?
Do we need? Can't you just magic us like with your little?
It's quite taxing,
Oh,
especially
That's
for such a long
unfortunate.
period of time. I believe so. Double check.
Do you think it would be best to tie off
It's
these
a cantrip.
buoys or just go straight there?
I don't think we need buoys for that. You really haven't been around the sea much, have you?
No, I'm mostly in a desert.
Ah, yes.
Not a lot of
Well,
not a lot of water.
Okay. Well, why don't we?
let's get into
I
this
guess. Yeah, I guess I can manipulate 10 feet of water in a direction, continually 5 feet at a time to have a current go in it. So I could, for a canoe, at least just hold out my hand and create a current for us to go there.
Okay. All right.
Just fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay.
It's a little
All right.
cantrip.
We'll say
That's
you're
fine.
doing that then.
I
With
like that.
with the current and with just like the awkwardness of using the equipment and navigating land that you haven't really been on before, but you are pretty adept. We'll say it takes about an hour to kind of get to where you want to get to. In your journey, once you get about to the middle section of let's say right about here, you are seeing off to the west what looks like a tinier boat. It's definitely not the Wormwind, but you are seeing something off in the distance. You're not seeing any markings on this boat, but it is there.
So at this, sorry, I don't mean to
No, go ahead.
talk across you, Mr. DM. I do want to relay what Varnoth had told me about seeing a boat. That saying that it was probably the boat of that boat. Varnoth told me about a boat. It's probably the boat of the goblins and Krog or Clegg or whatever all the nasty
Kragmar.
critters. Kragmar goblins, but the
Clarg.
Clarg. Probably his ship. And also, there's going to be a lot of zombies like the ones that we had dealt with previously around here. Lep was able to sneak in to the captain's area. And so and then that's where he found the sword. There was a painting and a chest, and there's going to be some skeletons inhabiting that are closed off in the captain's quarters. So we'll probably have to deal with them. Ideally, I think if we sneak like Blep, we can make our way to the captain's quarters and perhaps deal with the skeletons.
Wow. You really know your stuff when it comes to this sea stuff.
This is more just having a conversation with a kobold child, but I do know my way around the sea, believe you me.
He's a seaman.
Sea person, we prefer to be called. Person of the sea.
Person of the sea, but it's person-centered. So.
Please don't you decide gendered nouns. We're
person first language. All right. As you keep an eye on this boat, it does seem to be anchored or something because it's not moving, and you're not seeing anything really else. You can tell by the way the islands are that you don't see. You see bits and pieces of the Wormwind, but you can kind of guess that the Wormwind is not aware of this other boat being there. Do me a favor as you guys are getting closer to the island. Let's say that you're right about in this general area. Anybody's passive perception over 12, let's say. I think we have. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Where do I see it?
Passive. Okay, so Ulfgrim, yours is above. Altos is yours is at 11. So, Ulfgrim, what you hear first is like this. If it was closer to you, it would be piercing. But this screech, like a high-pitched screech, off towards the direction of the smaller boat. And as you train your eyes in the sky, you do see far in the distance, 300-400 yards away, a large bird-like creature that's flying towards the smaller boat, away from you. But that is what you see and kind of what you hear.
Perhaps that is a wormling. I'm gonna train my distance on the direction where that came from and point a finger. All me time in the crow's nest taught me to keep my eyes at sea, so perhaps you can make out a bird-like creature on that there horizon.
A bird? Like a harpy?
Well, bird-like creature. I think it's probably a dragon, judging by the motif of dragons heavily penetrating this island.
Oh, it looks like it has feathers from here. Maybe it's a trick of the light.
Yeah, as you're all starting to kind of look in that direction, Y4, since you kind of spoke up, do you want to roll for perception, see what you see? Or perception or nature, whichever one you want to do.
Oh, okay. I'll do nature.
It's gonna be a dirty 9.
Dirty 9. Okay. Yeah. At the distance, you're not really able to tell what it looks like. Yeah, but you do definitely see some sort of flying creature in the distance.
I'll do a. Oh no, never mind.
Okay. I can pop off my eye and hand it to Ulfgrim as like a periscope.
All right, well, I guess I'll do a perception check and see if I can make out what it is. And I got an 8.
Yeah.
I haven't cleaned the lenses in a while. Still a lot of blood.
It is not a replacement of the. I don't remember the boat term for those things. Telescope? I don't know.
Uniscope.
All right. Anyway,
spyglass.
Yeah.
Spyglass. There we go.
Spyglass.
Things are going on over there. Perhaps
There
if
are
I could try
things,
Altos, otherwise we can continue our way to the boat.
Yeah.
If you're asking me, I'll take a look.
Can you take a gander?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
It's an
Oh,
hour-long
God.
trip. Why not?
Sun, it's just going right into the sun. I cannot see a thing.
Yeah.
I see a dolphin like splash and just I'm like, what was I doing?
It's a little hazy over there. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well,
all right.
some
Well,
things have been left unsolved, I guess.
Yeah. So the moment has passed. You know that there was something flying out there, but it's really unclear what it was. Depending on whose opinion you're going to take, it's either a dragon or a harpy or something else. As you keep sailing on, you are reaching the tip of the last little island. As you get closer to this island, the stench is it's overwhelming. The smell as you get closer to the island is pretty bad. It's worse than Ulfgrim's sack, and quite vinegary on this island.
Never dry.
Never try in there.
It's
That's
moist
some sort of
sack.
infection.
That's just stanky.
It smells bacteria.
All right, get all your jokes out.
It's a glandular issue.
I'm still thinking about that guy who we almost threw off a cliff.
We got so close.
You got any baby powder in that bag?
As you are making contact with the beach there, it is a rocky beach. It's not smooth like the beach that's at Dragon's Rest. It is pretty jagged. Very carefully, this would be difficult terrain to walk across. And you make it on to the island. The further away you get from the shore, the louder there's like this almost like a moan, almost like just a guttural, just a continual coming from the north end of the island. You landed at the southern tip, but it is loud enough for you to hear.
Whew. Altos, you didn't eat any of that porridge, did you?
I'm actually starving. I haven't eaten anything.
I have some rations from the goblins somewhere in here. I'm gonna reach down in my bag of holding and oh, I've got 2 shares of rations. I actually haven't eaten either today.
Oh,
Yeah. Any meat?
Here's your. Oh no, I dropped it in the water. I'm just kidding.
I'll take it's like a Slim Jim, and I'll just take a bite of it and be like, "Oh yeah."
okay.
All right. Yeah. So there's zombies on the horizon. Can we see the shipwreck from now?
From here, no. This island itself, the terrain that you're looking at, quite rocky. It's like peak after peak of almost looks like teeth. There's little pathways that you could maneuver through, but each peak is probably about a good 15 to 20 feet high. So there's going to be a little bit of traversing. You can guesstimate that it would take about 15-20 minutes to get from one end to the other end of the island.
And did Blake say that he took the boat to the island and then went across the island, or did he take the boat to the shipwreck?
He took the boat straight to the shipwreck.
All right, I say we do that.
I'm in a boat. Yeah, no need to get out yet. Everybody knows zombies can't swim.
Ulfgrim, I'll follow you. I'm not a seaman like yourself.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. As you are following this the island along the coast, again navigating expertly, as you come around to the northern tip of this island, that moan is even louder than the waves that would be around you. The ocean sound, the moans are louder than that. You got a good one? You got a good one, Ulfgrim?
It's just laughing
It's
at
just
the
imagery. Yeah.
different moaning. Different moaning.
All you hear is these guttural like that.
Oh,
and
yeah?
Stop, everyone. I'm getting turned
Whoa,
on.
We get out of the boat. I've seen movies that start like this. Um,
Anybody have a mayonnaise sock?
the mayonnaise sauce.
All right, and
The
Yar.
you're taking your canoe around to the northern tip of the island. The noises that you're hearing, the groaning, the moaning, it's all higher pitched than the waves that you're battling. When you do make it around, what you see is the sand, the rock, the terrain has all been stained this dirty red color. The smell is intense, and it does have this stench of rotting meat as you start to see movement on the beach. And at first it's kind of reminiscent of like crabs as they scatter across the sand. But as you get closer, you notice that these aren't crabs. These are bodies or body parts that seem like that they've been ripped apart. You have every transition of decomposition as you have intact bodies that are on the beach, fully shambling around upright. You have bodies that are kind of torn in half with just their spines hanging out, crawling across the sand. Hands that are kind of animated and kind of just crawling through the sand, pulling themselves in. Humans, gnomes, pretty much every race that you can think of, or every species you can think of, scattered across this beach.
diverse set of good movies.
Yeah,
Feet.
there's diversity on this island. There's every body part is just kind of there for you. It's a smorgasbord. It's an orgy of of body parts.
Just
on
keep
the
going,
island.
Derek. Keep going.
The
I'm painting a picture here.
you are seeing that there's two distinct kind of clusters. One is closer to the ship itself. As you're sailing further around, you do see the shipwreck. Let me just share this map with you. As you are sailing around, you're roughly a little bit off this map right now on your journey, but you are seeing this initial cluster of undead that's kind of gathered here. Body parts strung throughout the beach, but this is like a large collection. Probably a large size collection of just bodies that are all amassed, almost like when rats collect and they have that king rat or queen rat or whatever it's called. They almost seem interconnected with each other. Further up the island, you do see another collection further towards this direction, and you see just this shack after shack, and just it looks like debris from many years of shipwreck just washed up on this edge of the island. The boat itself is caught on what at first looks like bleach white rocks, but the closer you get, you can tell that this is the vertebrae and spine of a large dragon,
Oh, that's cool.
and that is where you have arrived at. What would you guys like to do?
Are we sailing from the
You're
east,
sailing from the
south?
north. You're
Sailing
coming
from-
around from the north.
Can we assume that this is Cryovane?
In the library, you can assume that this is the remains of Cryovane.
I say we do a wide berth around and try to go out to sea more, and then try to see if we can come back from this angle.
I
Yes, sir.
agree. We can deploy me like one of these buoys and can sneak on in. I don't really want to get caught, so because these things, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I am small and quick.
I'll control the boat to go, basically try to stay out of their attention. Wide berth, go around, and then kind of come up from the beach side so that we have the boat in between us.
Okay. All right. The water, the tides is a little bit rougher, and it almost feels like there's like this whirlwind effect as you get closer to the dragon. And it doesn't seem impossible, but it does seem like it would be a little bit treacherous. So do me a favor, and just because of the strength of the current, go ahead and roll for let's do a strength, just a straight strength, and see what you got.
Oh, that's nice. 18.
18. Okay. All right. Altos and Y4, you're hanging on for dear life as Ulfgrim is showing off his skills on the boat.
You
And
kickflip the canoe.
Right. As you are all looking, and with your passive investigation, Ulfgrim, you're able to see that there's a net that is on the. It looks like it was part of the sail at one point that is hanging off onto this bit of the vertebra of the dragon on the south side of this boat, and it looks like it would be leading you up to the main deck of the ship if that's how you chose to get on. That is one entrance that you're seeing.
So I'll maybe get out of the boat and like kind of hold it so that my crew, since you're on the boat with me, we're now crewmates. You can jump on the dragon, and then I'll bring the canoe on and flip it over and leave it on the beach there, or the dragon's vertebra.
Okay. Do me a favor, and as you guys are getting closer to it, as a group, let's roll for stealth, and let's see how stealthy you guys are being.
Ooh.
Yeah.
18.
25.
18.
Nice.
Okay.
6.
6. All right. And
They
then
balance me out. Hopefully.
Y4, what did you get up? Sorry, I didn't see.
25.
25. Okay. All right. You guys were able to make it past. Every time y'all would make a noise that was louder than you wanted, you kind of paused for a minute. But as far as you can tell, you're not drawing any unwanted attention.
Everybody knows zombies can't hear.
Is that what everybody knows?
Everybody knows that?
So I'm gonna kind of motion. We best not be lumbering around and making noise after I made like a huge amount of noise flipping the canoe over and like
Water.
quiet getting in here. So I see we go up and we go to the captain's cabin. We make a beeline for it.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
Let's climb up the net.
Yeah, go ahead and climb up the net for me. Again, move stealthily as you're doing it. So, Ulfgrim, you were the one who failed. So do me a favor and just go roll at stealth for me.
14.
All right. So as you guys are climbing up this rope, you can tell that it's pretty brittle. It seems like every inch that you make it up this rope, it almost feels like it's about to give. But you are able to make it up on top. As you make it up to the top, you see what looks like this. It's been out in the element for about 40 years. As you make it to the main bow of the ship, you are seeing the sails are collapsed upon themselves. You're seeing a plaque and with a bit of sail covering it. As the wind is blowing, you do see this bit of sail just catch wind and lift up, and you're seeing upside down the words Compass Rose written out. And you're also noticing at this point this large collection of zombies have caught wind of you and are approaching the ship. And as you notice them, you just start feeling the claws start creeping up on the sides of the boat as the wood starts getting that scratching sound. And with that, we're going to end session 5 of Twisted Fates.
Now, don't worry, guys. It's nothing. Everybody knows zombies can't smell.
All right. All right. You guys, you made it to the Compass Rose.
Very quick.
Chit chat. I wanted to fight.
This was a role play heavy episode. You know, that's okay. We again, we learned a lot about this island. We learned a lot about each other. We learned some pretty cool dragon names and some that are pretty lame. What do you want from me? Well, if you stuck around this long in this episode, and that means that you really love us, or you really would like to get your hands on that beefcake calendar that we promised, semi-nude, coming out later this year. Look for the Kickstarter. But with that, I am Terry. These are the Party Poopers, and we will wish you a very well night and adieu.